like I would like wake up and like she would be gone, but her boyfriend's still there.
Yes,
So,
yes.
So, like, what am I like?
That's
and I'm
unacceptable.
getting ready to like go to class.
In a dorm
it's just
too is kind of crazy.
Yes.
Like, in a dorm is crazy. Yeah. I've heard people have that like same. I've heard that same issue like often. So like when I was like getting off campus and like now it started when I was like after campus. Like I was like so cognizant of like how many times he's staying over, like making sure he's not there too much, because I'm like I heard all throughout college how people were feeling with people's boyfriends there all the time, and it's fine, like you can have your boyfriend here, but like not every day.
Hey everyone, I'm Melanie Eke.
Hi everyone, I'm Kolbi-Rae.
And you're watching your favorite show on NCRF TV, Life Lessons.
Woo woo, life lessons.
Today we have a really fun show. We are talking about the highs, the lows, the love, the not so love, all the experiences that have to do with living with someone else. Yes, we are talking about the roommate experience. And we have some awesome guests to get into it with.
Yes, today we are with two NCRF alumni, wonderful college students, Courtney and Julianna. Everybody say hi, guys.
Hi.
And
They're going to let you know what schools they go to.
My name's Julianna. I am an incoming fourth year at UC Santa Barbara. I'm majoring in sociology, and I have two minors, one in Spanish and one in poverty and equality and social justice.
Nice.
We got some smart girls on this show, okay?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Courtney. I am a sophomore at Louisiana State University. Go Tigers. I am a cognitive neuroscience major on the pre-med track, and I'm adding a minor in biology.
Oh my goodness, both of you with your double minors, your majors. I love it. So, just to start off, both of you have roomed or dormed on your campus, because both of you are from Southern California, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we need the tea. What was, let's start with your freshman year, because I feel like that's like not the worst, it could be the worst or the best. So whoever wants to start, how was your first time living with somebody else in a dorm room?
First semester was bad. Second semester was really good. I feel like it all depends on who you room with. I don't suggest leaving home with like a friend and rooming with your friends. That's like my biggest suggestion, because I don't know. It's just like when you know somebody for so long, it kind of, and you're in such a small space, I feel like you don't allow yourself and that other person to grow, because you guys have already known each other. I don't know. It just makes you feel so closed in.
We hear that. I've heard that all the time. Like, oh, don't live with your friends.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, in a very crucial time, like your first year of college, that is probably like the hardest, because you're growing, which is so true. What about you, Julianna?
Yeah. I did the opposite of what she just said. I actually went to high school with my roommate my first year, and I honestly just chose her because like we kind of already like we grew up in the same area. We kind of already like we're associated with one another. Like we had the same friends and stuff like that. But living with her was very hard. Like we both had very like different experiences, and then to top it off, like just being away from home, like I went through depression, and then like that same year my mom got sick. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. So like I just had a lot of stuff going on that year. So it was a lot my first year. Yeah.
It's hard too, because it's like the people you think that you want to live with your friend, because it is it's a sense of comfort even if you're away from home.
Exactly.
But sometimes like that comfort holds you back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're in a space where you're there to grow.
Definitely.
So I love to hear that. And hopefully, and you said your second semester was better. Why?
Second semester was so amazing. I had a random roommate. Her name's Corinne. We had a time. Like, we had a time. We were going out almost every day.
Love.
We still did homework. Please keep it in mind. But we went out a lot. Even if it was like, oh, girl, you want to go to the Panera Bread? Like, I'm on my way. I'm coming back to the dorm right now. Like, we had so much fun. She introduced me to her friend group. So I ended up gaining like a whole other group of friends. Okay, we would all go on like random McDonald's trips at like 4 a.m. Like, I just had a time. Like, I loved my second semester. And my second semester roommate was just amazing.
And you were in like the dorms, right?
Oh,
where it's just
I was in the worst dorm on campus.
Oh, did you like share a room or did you share like a common space?
Oh, there was no. Our room was
so
the
like
common
you were,
space.
yeah, so like that was like my first year experience. Like it's a room and there's a hallway and then there's a shared bathroom. That sort of thing.
Okay.
So
I'd say like our room was maybe as big as this space. Like not even as this apartment, like this space right here. It was 2 little twin size beds. We had our refrigerators in between, and like that was it. And then you had to go sit down the hallway to like go shower and stuff. Okay, I don't recommend. I did not like her yet, but I love being with my roommate, so she made it better.
And so that's interesting because I know Kolbi-Rae and I were talking some time ago about like some people want to live by themselves, you know, their first year. And I understand that and I understand that privacy. But I also feel like you probably wouldn't have these experiences if you didn't have that. You know,
for sure.
Yeah. So you speak on, you know, like being with somebody versus not being with someone?
I feel like I'm learning now because like this past year I lived with 4 other people and like they were all just like different backgrounds, races, religions.
In like a apartment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I feel like my first year I did want to live alone, but like now thinking about it, I'm like I wouldn't have like met these people or like made the connections I have made as far as I am in college right now. So it's like I think it is good to just like have like a random roommate because then you just get to learn about them and like meet other people. Like she said, like I like through my roommates I met like a bunch of other people. Like I met my best friend, so like it's yeah.
I agree. I feel like living in a dorm makes your freshman year.
Yes.
For sure. It literally makes your freshman year. I don't think I would have ever had a good time or enjoyed my freshman year if I did not live in like a dorm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially because I had a traditional dorm. I had one of the oldest dorms in like the entire campus.
Oh, wow.
And it was Herget, McVoy, Blake, like it was just old dorms. These have never
those
been.
are the names of the dorms.
Yes, they have not been renovated like since like 19 something. And all my friends had the nice like suite style dorms on the other side, on the west side of campus.
Style dorms.
They had their own bathroom. I was jealous, but my dorm was the most lit dorm on campus. People was in the lobby having a party till like 5 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
Like I would not have gotten that experience if I did not live with other people, for sure.
Exactly.
I get that. I definitely, my freshman year, I did not like my roommates at all. But it made, if I didn't live with them, then I wouldn't have been out the house all the time and met all my friends.
Yeah.
So it's like, either way, even if you don't like technically like who you live with, it's like it could prompt you to do other things and that you can meet other people like you were saying. So it's really important that you do that. And we hear all the time when we're on the road that some kids are like, oh, can you dorm by yourself your first year? And we're like, yeah, some schools let you do it, some schools don't. But we're like, maybe you don't want to do that because like you don't want to isolate yourself like so early on when you like go to college.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
When I tell you, they say that college is some of the best years of your life because as somebody who's been out of college for some time, yes, it's true. But the other thing is that they say is that the friends that you meet in college end up being some of your lifelong friends. And I can say, yes, that's true as well. And so it's like, you definitely don't want to skip on that.
Right. And you said you now live in an apartment with other people.
Yes.
And that's a whole thing in itself. You're about to live in an apartment, right?
Yes.
Off but on campus.
Yes.
Yes, I did the same thing. And it's like, that's going to be a whole new journey for you. But how do you feel it's been different?
Honestly, like, just having a kitchen. I'm so grateful.
Yes.
I'm so grateful to be able to cook my own meals. Not only that, but just like I said before, like I live with 4 other people, so like it's kind of crazy, like sharing a room with 3 people, and then in the other room,
Oh, I had the same thing.
Yeah, it was like in one room it was me and then 2 other people, and then in the other one it was just 2 people, and like it's like 2 bathrooms, but one of them has a shower, so like we were sharing like literally everything, food, everything. But yeah, it's been a lot.
Yeah. And people always say like, oh, you have to be aware that other people weren't raised the same way that you were.
Yes.
So like, what are some, because we're giving some lessons here. So what are some realizations that you came to when you were dorming or having an apartment with somebody and you were like, dang, they don't do this, and like I need this to happen, or like, and how did you handle those situations?
There's messy people out there,
Yes.
like really, really messy people. And the way that like me and my other roommates handled this one situation, like we would have like meetings with them, just
Oh,
be
wow,
like,
okay.
oh, like hey, like it would be nice if you like cleaned up after yourself here and there, because like we were the ones who were cleaning up after her, so it was just kind of, it wasn't fair to us.
So how did she take that?
The first 2 times that we met with her, she was like, oh yeah, like I understand, and then it kept happening, and we were just like, oh, like okay.
Oh, you don't
Yeah,
understand.
so like we were like, okay, so like we had to talk to our RA and stuff like that, so like just a bunch of stuff happened, but like long story short, she ended up moving out, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What about you, Courtney?
I feel like, okay, no shade, but not everybody's hygiene is the same. Not everybody was raised the same when it came to that. Sharing a communal bathroom, oh my goodness. It was like 30 girls, one floor, like one bathroom kind of thing.
So much fun.
So, oof, it was like, you can't tell a girl from across the hall, hey, clean up after yourself, because like it's a communal bathroom.
Right.
So, I don't know. I'd say just being able to low-key have your shower caddy, having shower shoes, keeping yourself and your hygiene good makes it better almost, because you can't really clean a communal bathroom. Like,
Right.
that's not your job. That's the janitor's job. And they shouldn't have to clean after like 18-year-olds either.
Right.
So you kind of just have to like deal with it.
Yeah.
What?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, I guess that's the beautiful thing. So I know that it's great to have that freshman dorm experience, but I think that nobody really wants to have that experience after freshman year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's the beautiful thing about that being a freshman year experience.
Yeah.
For sure.
And everybody's different. Some people are like relax now, clean later person, especially like when you are in an apartment and you're sharing it and you guys have to like share chores.
Yeah.
It's like some people are relax now, clean later, and some people are like, I can't relax until I clean.
Yeah.
Like type people, have you ever had like to deal with somebody that's like the complete opposite of you? Like they're like, oh, I can go to sleep with the dishes in the sink, and you're like, every dish needs to be in the dishwasher before I put my head on the pillow.
Yeah, I'm that person where like after like I'm done using my dishes, like I need it to be clean.
Oh wow.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm
That's
not that.
Yeah.
I'm like that.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, but like a majority of like my roommates, they're the type of people to like, oh, like I'll leave it and wash it later, which like I'm fine with. Yeah. But we did have like this like chart like where like, oh, like I take out the trash this week.
Oh, you guys have a chore chart.
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah, we did that because it was just easier for us to.
I've heard of that, and you feel like it's effective
Yeah, it really is.
because it helps with like fights too.
Yeah.
And like when you have your own apartment, maybe you guys like host things too.
Yeah.
And it's like okay, who's cleaning up after this?
Yeah.
Because that's always like that can always be an issue too.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. But you guys are now like gonna be doing apartment living, and well, you are already doing it, but you're gonna be doing apartment living, and you're gonna have to like pay your own bills and do all the stuff.
Yes.
But have you, so far, are you like, okay, I like renting, like this is cool, or are you like you can call the landlord to fix anything, or are you
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't want to live with other people for the rest of my life, like I need my own space.
Well, like my apartment is like different because it's like undergrad apartment, so like the school still like my FAFSA covers it and stuff like that.
Oh nice.
So like the money's not coming out of my pocket. But it is nice to like just like be able to call and be like, hey, like can you fix this and this, and then they'll be there. So yeah.
Oh, did you want to say something?
I feel like, well, I haven't really got to experience it yet, but I will in the fall. I have my own apartment, so no roommates, bless. And my
Wow.
own bathroom, my
Already?
own kitchen. I'm so excited.
I was gonna say, are you excited to move
Oh,
out?
am I? I'm super excited. Like, I'm getting my own car. Like, I can't wait. I just feel like renting is annoying because why do I have to give you like this amount of money every single month? I don't necessarily want to, but I want my own space.
Yeah.
And to live on campus as a sophomore just doesn't quite make sense to me. Like,
When it's the same amount of money.
exactly. It's actually more. It actually,
Yeah.
when I pay for my dorm, mind you, like I said, it was the worst dorm on campus. It was $5,000. I think it was more than that. Whereas I'm paying like $1,000 a month, but I only have to pay for, I think, November and December. So that's $2,000 when I was paying $5,000. So I guess it's helpful.
Right.
I guess it's helpful. And I don't have to pay for like electricity, just like my water bill.
Okay. So you guys have had your experiences, but now we're going to venture into some experiences that you probably haven't had, but I want your take on it, okay? Let's talk about relationships and living together. My first question.
Not your face.
Would you not live with someone who you are in a romantic relationship with? Or when do you feel like in your life you would accept that, something like that?
I feel like I'd accept it when I'm married. I feel
Really?
like,
Oh, okay.
like,
that is a hot take for somebody your age.
Yeah,
Wow, okay.
I feel like,
Love that.
I don't know.
Love to hear
like,
it.
I know it's just like my personal like experiences that I've gone through, but like boyfriends sometimes they just don't last, you know. And like
So it's interesting that you're saying that too. It's interesting that you're saying that too because I would be curious to check in with you in about 5 years because I feel like a lot of young ladies have a certain vision of what they will do or won't do or may see things a certain way. But once you start really getting into that dating world and circumstances are going certain ways, then things kind of change.
Definitely.
I would hope that you still stick to that. I'm not saying I don't want you to, but I'm just kind of curious, you know. I mean, you're someone who lives with.
Yeah, so that's very funny because when I was like, I used to say, I am not living with a man until we are engaged, okay? But I am now moving in with my partner, but that's because as I've gotten older, I'm like, you got to try before you buy, all right? So, and I'm just, the older I've gotten, the more I'm like, I need to, especially knowing I like to be alone and like I enjoy my space and stuff, I'm like, okay, let me make sure that like I am okay with you being in my space and we can have the shared space and share this experience before we take a step further, because like returning a diamond ring and unplanning a wedding is a lot more work than just cutting a lease, you know what I mean? Like it's just so I have transitioned my thinking, but I felt very similar to you at a point. And
I believe I did.
And I think the difference now is it's not just try before you buy, obviously, but I'm like, I was like, we are not moving in together unless you have the intention to be with me forever. If you don't have that intention, if you're just like, oh, we should live together and like it'll save on rent, I don't want to live with you because I don't have to live with you. And I think that's the difference is in this generation, it's kind of hard because everything is so expensive. And it's like, if you don't feel like living with random roommates anymore, or like your friends anymore, it's like, okay, well, let me just move in with this boyfriend I got. But like, my advice is don't do that.
It happens a lot though.
It does.
It happens a lot.
And that's not the right reason to move in with somebody. You should move in with somebody because you see yourself being with them for like forever, hopefully. And what do you think?
I agree with like almost everything you said, especially because I have a boyfriend. But his apartment is 15 minutes away from mine, and I told him that we're both dating to marry. We both really love each other. We both have intentions on marrying each other, but I don't want to move in with him until I personally feel ready. Until we've been together for at least about like 3 years. I feel like that's a good time.
That was my timeline.
Or like after college, I feel like that makes sense. Because I'm the type of person, I'm very independent. I love my own space. And I also feel like I want to come home to my own space. Like, I don't want to have to come home and you're there. Like, not to be rude, like, I love my boyfriend, don't get me wrong. But it's like, I genuinely enjoy having my own, like, space, my own time, my own area where I can just completely just be myself. And having to come home and it's like a man there, it's like
there is a Whoopi. This is a side. There's a Whoopi Goldberg quote where somebody asked Whoopi, "Oh, why aren't you married?" And she was like, "I don't want nobody in my house."
Yeah, like I understand that.
That is so valid. I think about that all the time when people are like, "Oh, I want my own space," and it's like that is so funny. And this is just a fun little segue to think about a situation where you have to not only live with your significant other, but you have to live with other people and their significant others. People do it all the time, and some people do it on TV. So, are you guys watching Love Island right now?
Yes.
Okay, what is your take?
Or did we watch Love Island? Because it is over, and it will still be over by the time this comes out. So
Right. What is your take on the living portion and like the way that they behave on that show?
I wouldn't be comfortable with it.
I just think that's crazy.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I'm very independent. I want my own space. I don't want to sleep next to another couple, a grown couple, every single day for a month. That's a no. That's a no.
Yeah.
They share their bathrooms. They share their living space, their eating spaces. No. And there's cameras on them 24/7. I can't.
I actually experienced it, not with a man, but like with cameras 24/7, living with like 4 other girls.
What?
Yeah, it was quite the experience. I actually forgot about that until we were just talking about it right now.
You need to spill some more beans. I need more context, Melanie.
No, it was a long time ago. It was a show called Battle of the Ex-Besties. It was on Oxygen, but it was all girls.
Oxygen. Oh my God, cable.
Cable. Gosh, and I just tell my age, right?
No, and I'm like, yes, cable TV.
Yeah, but we were paired with best friends, and we had to compete against other groups of best friends. And yeah, there was about 5 girls to a room, and the mic was on you. But they took our mics at night. I think nowadays, because this was a while ago, so now they actually, I think, have the hidden mics, inside the actual room. So I did get my nighttime to myself, and then they mic you in the morning. You take the mic off, and then they mic you in the morning. But the house in there with all those girls was chaos. I forgot that I went through that literally until right now, because we're talking. I'm like,
it's like
I actually did that.
Sounds a little traumatic.
It was.
Sounds like you packed it away.
It was. Oh,
You packed that box away.
And that was all girls, so I can only imagine like hella girls, and then you mix guys in. So yeah, this whole Love Island stuff. Let's talk about the female friendships on that show.
Yeah.
And how those are impacted by the whole situation.
Yikes. Okay, the Huda and Shelly situation.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not feel like Huda was in the wrong. For this reason, for the simple reason that Shelly did the exact same thing Huda did. Like, okay, Huda was the only girl that had set a boundary with Jeremiah. She said, I don't want you talking to other girls, I don't want you in other girl faces, yada, yada, yada. Shelly and Ace weren't closed off at that time, didn't set any boundaries, and then apparently before they did like the whole heart rate challenge, the entire cast had asked each other, they were like, okay, what are we comfortable with? What are we not comfortable with? If you have a problem, speak up, raise your hand. Nobody said anything. So then when the challenge went on and then Huda went to go do her big one, everybody's like, why would you do that? But it's like, you didn't state your boundaries. So I just feel like when you're a grown adult and you're in a setting with a whole bunch of other grown adults, I feel like you have to advocate for yourself. If you feel some type of way, if you really like Ace, if you really like this boy, you should advocate for yourself. Hey, I don't want nobody on my man. I don't want nobody touching, doing all this stuff. And then it wouldn't have.
So I have a response to that.
Yes.
Because, if we're talking about, setting your boundaries ahead of time, but I mean, I'm not going to imagine that, somebody's going to come and sit on my man's face.
Right.
So like, is there
true.
a certain level of boundaries that you can't even fathom,
Yeah.
Like, of course I expect that we're going to kiss. Of course I expect that, somebody's going to get on top of each other. They probably all got on the top of each other. So I don't even think that the line was drawn until much, much further.
Yeah.
And there's certain levels of boundaries that you probably don't even think to set because you think it's kind of common sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's
Sure.
just my thought.
But I love what you said, like, in a group of grown people, you should, and people are asking you how you feel and what you want, you should advocate for yourself. And I think that not only is that correct in that situation, like, everybody should advocate for themselves. Even, I mean, yes, there is the, like, you couldn't even fathom,
Yeah,
like,
like,
what your
some
boundaries
stuff
are.
is- yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I completely understand that, because, like, how was I going to know that she was going to do all that?
Right.
So, like, I get that, but I think just that quote itself, like,
Yes,
in a
but
group of
that
grown
I totally
adults,
agree with.
you
Yeah.
should be able to advocate for yourself, and I think that is something that, like, when you're growing up and you're rooming with people, you learn,
Yes.
because it's so hard. Like, I feel like I still have, not roommate drama, but I feel like I still have a hard time advocating for myself in a roommate space to this day. So, like, it's really great that you said that, because I'm like, in the perspective of Love Island, like, yes, like, you should be advocating for yourself. I completely understand where you're coming from, but, like, that is good advice to give to anybody that's rooming with a whole bunch of other grown people.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you sitting there passive aggressively cleaning my dishes instead of telling me, can you
Exactly.
clean your dishes out?
Yeah,
And,
for
like,
sure.
everybody has to not be able to not be offended. Everybody has to be open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
how
agree.
do
I feel like communication is key. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But I feel like communication is key like with anything, whether it's friendships, whether you're doing with somebody, whether it's relationships, because we communicate every day. We talk to each other, but how do we know? I can't know what you're thinking unless you tell me. So in that situation, I feel like everybody should have just kind of talked to each other, kind of communicated. Same thing with you, like when you were talking about like your dorming situation, like you communicated with your roommate. Hey, I don't like this. I don't like that you do this. Let's set up a system. Let's set up a chore. I feel like that's how people should move in situations in general.
So like also still staying in the Love Island house, how do you handle situations where a lot of people are particularly frustrated with one person without that person feeling ganged up upon? I know we talked about a little bit about this before. Once again, Hedda. You know, what are your thoughts on that?
I was actually in a situation like this with my roommate like a couple months ago, and she did feel like we were kind of like trying to like attack her and stuff like that. But like kind of like what we were talking about earlier, like just communicating to understand, I feel like that's what I've been learning. I have to like, it's one thing to communicate, but like you have to like understand what like that person is saying.
Do you think that the fact that there's, because you said you had a similar situation, do you think that the fact that there were multiple people that were in disagreement with one person made it harder to even communicate though?
Yes, yeah.
Or the way you go about
like,
communicating?
Yeah, I feel like we, like each of us had our own like different little things that like were kind of like bothering us. So like we didn't want to come at her like, oh, like you're doing this wrong and stuff like that.
And it's like, and another thing,
yeah,
actually.
Yeah,
exactly.
So like
another thing, this is why.
But you're genuinely frustrated.
Yeah,
so it's like
right.
you, in the name of communication,
Yeah.
how do I not tell you how I
exactly.
feel? So is it best to probably have one-on-one conversations, or do you still feel like a group conversation is fair in that situation?
Yeah, I think like the first 2 times it was a group conversation. But I feel like towards the end, like before she moved out, I was like, hey, like maybe stop using my dishes without like asking. It was just things like that. And then she would be like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I'm sorry. And then she wouldn't do it again. So I feel like maybe like just having that one-on-one conversation with people really.
Yeah. Because even if you have similar issues, I think that just being in an environment where it's them against me is already going to put that person on the defensive.
Yeah.
And they might be having the same conversation with multiple people, but at least in a one-on-one context, you can have that conversation in a more comfortable way.
Yeah. Have you guys ever you felt like you've been ganged up on? In like a roommate setting? If no, bless your heart. Thank God.
No, I don't think so. I feel like the only problem that I had was with just that my first roommate. It was just like one person, but when I came to her and I told her like my issues, even though they were ignored, I still came to her personally and told her like how I felt. And that's why I think that's how you would get rid of the whole gang upon if each person just goes to them individually. Because I also
pull them for a chat.
Yeah, pull them for a chat. Pull them for a chat. Because not everybody has the same. You may have the same opinion.
Walk around saying that.
Right. Let me pull you for a chat. I feel like everybody has the
it's
same
always
opinion.
in different voices too.
Yeah.
Can I pull you for a chat? Can I pull you for a chat? Anyway.
I feel like even though you may not have the same, you guys may have the same opinions, not everybody felt the exact same way. Like you said, everybody felt frustrated with that person, but based off of different things.
Right.
So if we all came at once, hey, I feel this. Oh, and I feel this too. It's you're gonna obviously feel ganged upon. So I think coming to one person individually, having a sit down conversation. Hey, I feel this way. How do you feel?
Yeah.
How can we fix this situation? What can we do to come up with a solution that can accommodate both of us? I think that's like the best way to get rid of that gang upon feeling.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it's important that we take away that like communication. We always come back to communication. And
it is the number one. It's the number one. And it's not just, please, it's not just that you communicate. It is how you communicate. Yeah, because, you know, some people will be like, oh, well, I told her how I feel. At least I said it. And there's this badge of honor. But it's like, but no, but you made her feel like shit stuff. Like you made her feel like crap. Yeah. You know, you had an attitude, you were disrespectful. Yeah. So we have to be mindful of how we communicate. And I think like you were saying, communicate to listen, communicate to actually understand what the issue is. But I have another question for you. You know, at what point do you know it's time to move out? Or for somebody needs to go? Yeah.
Yikes. Well, like, your roommate moved out, but I was the roommate who moved out.
Okay.
So I feel like at one point when you've done everything that you were told, communicating, went to your RAs, talked to that person individually, and nothing's been changed, at that point, I'm going to leave because I won't be disrespected. Yeah. I won't be uncomfortable in any place that I live in which I pay $5,000 for. I will not be uncomfortable, and I will not be disrespected. And that's when I feel like I should leave. Because I mean, I don't necessarily have to live on campus. If I wanted to, I have the bread to move somewhere else. So I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where I feel closed in. I feel uncomfortable. Like I feel like I can't live in my space. I can't breathe. I don't want to feel like that.
Absolutely.
That is so valid.
Do you have a take on it?
Honestly, no. I mean, like
she said it.
Yeah.
She said it.
Yeah. Like my roommate was the one that moved out. So like, yeah. I feel like my sophomore year, I did get that urge to move out because my roommate at the time, she, like, her boyfriend would, like, always come over and he would stay there for days at a time. Mind you, like, it was just, like, there was no wall or anything. So it was just, like, the bed, like, literally the beds were, like,
that's
right
always
there.
a problem.
Yeah,
With girls in college is the
yeah.
staying over all the time.
Yeah, so, like, I feel like it kind of, like, I had that urge to, like, move out, but then it was, like, I got that urge, like, when, like, the school year was going to end. So I was like, you know what, might as well just stick through it and just,
Don't let them kick you out of your own house, your own space.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's always an issue. Is
That
somebody
happened to me. That actually happened to me that year. Like, he would go over for, like, a couple days at a time. And, like, it got to a point where I was uncomfortable. So, like, I had to, like, call my friend and be like, hey, like, can I go, like, stay at your place for, like, a day or two? Just because I didn't want to be in my own room that I paid for.
Yeah.
So I was just like, it was just a lot.
I felt the exact same way. Like, my first semester, like, it was always a boy in my room, shirtless, eating all our snacks, using all our appliances. And like I said, our room wasn't big at all. So it's just a bed, a girl and a boy, and then me, and it's just like uncomfortable.
All I heard is eating all my snacks.
Yeah,
all my
like,
snacks. It's over.
No, I'm not dealing with that.
her snacks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Melanie loves her snacks.
I'm like, I would like wake up and like she would be gone, but her boyfriend's still there.
Yes,
So, like, what am I like?
That's
and
unacceptable.
I'm getting ready to like go to class.
In a dorm
it's just
too
weird.
is kind of crazy.
Yes.
In a dorm is crazy. Yeah. I've heard people have that like same. I've heard that same issue like often. So like when I was like getting off campus and like now it started when I was like after campus. Like I was like so cognizant of like how many times he's staying over, like making sure he's not there too much, because I'm like I heard all throughout college how people were feeling with people's boyfriends there all the time, and it's fine, like you can have your boyfriend here, but like not every day, like or like even just your significant other, like in general, like people just somebody that does not live there, and it's a worse obviously when it's like a different gender, but like still somebody that does not live there every day, it's like I signed up to live with you, and like I know I have the capacity for you, but not two of you,
right?
Absolutely,
right. Not you and your boyfriend, and spending the night every single night, like constantly in like that tiny space. It becomes too much. So even when I communicated that, I was like, hey, like I'm not really comfortable with this. Like I don't really like this, and nothing changed. At that point, I felt disrespected. That's when I left.
That's when you left.
That's when I left.
Yes.
Right. And then this next semester, I met Corinne, so it all worked out.
Good. Let me just kind of ask you this question, because you're now venturing on a non-roommate situation, but you'll still be having roommates. So, but still, how do you find your personal space and peace even when living with people?
That's a good question. I feel like my bed is like my personal space. So like I feel like, because I'm like a clean person and I just like having my area clean. So like even like after a hard day of school, I just go to my bed and I'm just like, okay, like, oh, let me call my mom, let me call my family, something like that. That's like the only way that I feel like I'm able to have my personal space, because like I don't know, like I go out into the living room or the kitchen and then they're there and it's just like dang, like
yeah,
for sure. I feel like also making your space your own, because the room's so tiny and you only get like one half of the room, so completely making that half of your room like your own really makes your space. Like I love pink, so my entire side of the room is like pinked out. I had pink covers. I had everything on my desk was pink. I had big Tyler the Creator posters all on my wall. And my roommate, she was cool with it because her entire type was purple. She had all her pictures on her wall. Like, our room was so cute. So I think making your space completely your own and taking that, adding posters, like even a cute rug, like it really coming home to that makes it your space. Yeah.
And that was gonna be my advice, is invest in your space. Like, invest in your space. Like I always have the room that people gather in, but it's because
the party room.
Yes, pretty much, because I curated my room so vibey, because and I curated it vibey for me.
Right.
But other people wanted to catch the vibe, so like whatever. But it's fine though, because I knew like when I would come home, I could like really like decompress, and like if I'm gonna stare at my walls, like I want to stare at something interesting, you know. So like really, I always like to encourage people to, if you only have one space that you're own in your apartment, in your dorm, like invest in it and like make it what you want to come home and look at, because it's like however you want to keep your room is how you should be feeling at the end how you want to feel at the end of the day.
I can speak to that too, because I feel like my sophomore year, like I literally didn't decorate at all. Like there was nothing on my walls, it was just plain. And then like this past year, like I actually had pictures up like of my family and stuff like that, and just like posters, and like being able to just like go to like MySpace and see all of that, I was like, oh, okay, like it just gave me a more positive like vibe. So
But final note on that was what I was thinking as well, is that when you're away from home, especially when you're away from home, you want some things that remind you of home. That connection. It's beautiful. All right, so we're gonna do our last quick little segment here, and this is where we just kind of give a word of advice or some positive energy to our audience. Anything having to do with having a positive and healthy roommate situation that you can think of, we would love for you to just pour it out. Whoever's ready.
Okay, let me think. Oh goodness.
You both are so funny. Both of you are thinking with very similar mannerisms. It's sending. I'm like, you both are like,
I know. It's so adorable.
It's so cute.
Like, I really have to like really think. I think my biggest advice is everything we've been talking about, like communication, but also making your room your own. That's my biggest advice. Coming home to a completely pink room, even though it sounds insane, it made my heart. It literally made my heart brighten. Waking up to Tyler Creator and Frank Ocean and The Weeknd on my wall.
We got the same room.
Come on now.
Except mine's yellow, but
but you understand.
Yeah, right.
Like I react to my favorite album, my Drake albums, my J. Cole album. Like it just brightened my day. So really making your space your own and talking to your roommate, that really helps.
Yeah. I feel like first day, like move-in day, something that I learned this past year is to like talk to your roommate and like just even inviting them for like coffee or something, just to get to know them. Because when I didn't do that my sophomore year, like we were already kind of just like not like we already kind of like had that like relationship where like I'm not gonna talk to you if you don't talk to me. So like this past year, like I actually like invited them. I was like, oh hey, let's go get coffee or something, and then like from then on we've been like really close since then.
I love that, because you're building a connection, you're establishing a sense of respect with one another, and you'll be more invested in one another. You know, having a comfortable space and environment. I love that.
I agree. Like when I first moved in, I think the reason why me and Corinne got along so well is mainly because my mom. I think my mom really did it. But my mom sent us cake, like pounds and pounds of cake, like so much cake, and I gave some to Corinne, and then I bought her a Snoopy mug and a matching Stitch mug, because I love Stitch, she loves Snoopy, and we just started talking and bouncing off like of each other. And I think being able to open up a conversation, like inviting somebody to a conversation, really helps you actually get to know each other. It makes you feel welcome to want to talk to one another. So I agree.
Would you want to add anything, Kolbi-Rae?
I think that you guys have really great advice. You guys have really great perspectives on living and rooming with people. I think it's really important that you guys are like learning about all of the communicative stuff and all of the like learning about your own space and your own wants and needs. And that would be my advice, is like figure out your wants and needs, and you can figure out which ones you want to project onto your roommate healthily, and which ones you want to take responsibility for yourself, and then that'll make your living situation better. And just realizing that not everybody was raised the same, but as long as you communicate, like, you can find that middle ground.
For sure.
What about you, Mel?
I mean, you pretty much all said it all. And the last thing you said just brought one word to mind: empathy. Have empathy.
Yes.
Approach the situation with empathy, and
especially when it comes to college. Everybody's coming from different places.
Absolutely.
Everyone's coming from out of state. So just having like empathy, getting to know each other. That's the biggest part.
Empathy in all aspects of life, but
All
especially with living. It's like it's 24. Living with somebody, whether it's in college or out of college or whoever, it is your parents even. Like, it's empathy 24/7. Especially if you're both grown adults, you both need to have empathy for each other and what your space will be like.
you can say that again: grown adults.
Yes,
Don't forget,
grown adults.
You're still young, but you are grown.
You are grown enough to pick your drawers off the floor.
Yes, hello.
Okay, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. That is our show today. Once again, I'm Melanie Edney.
And I'm Kolbi-Rae.
And you're watching Life Lessons on NCRF TV. As usual, if you have anything to say, leave it in the comment section. Please tell us if you want us to cover any topics at all. And until next time, bye. Bye.